Thanks for joining with me today for a quick look at Sunday's passage, Mark chapter 14, verses 43 through 52. This is the dramatic scene of Jesus' arrest in the Garden of Gethsemane, and it gives us some insight for our own journey of following Jesus today. Imagine the setting. It's evening in a small enclosure filled with old-growth olive trees, lit only by the dim glow of a few flaming torches. Usually, Gethsemane is lush and secluded, a favorite place of repose for Jesus. That name means oil press, and it so reflects the binding pressure of this raw and uncomfortable moment. The scene is so intimate and frightening that we feel almost embarrassed to be onlookers. Yet, Mark compels us to step in. Let's consider some personalities and moments. We see the disciples, full of bluster one minute, sleep the next, and confused shame in the aftermath. Yes, Judas is here. His status as one of the 12 concentrates both surprise and heartbreak. He comes accompanied by a crowd of belligerent enforcers and religious leaders, pushing emotion to the extreme. Judas had arranged a signal to identify Jesus among the shadows. A kiss. This word is found twice in the passage. First, in the plotting and planning, the original word suggests simple courtesy. When the deed is done, however, Mark amps up to a word meaning a fervent kiss reserved to show deepest affection. This is a revolting kiss, turning a sign of intimacy and goodwill into a sign of infamy and death. Then there's Peter, attempting armed resistance. He impulsively draws a sword and strikes the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. This is a foolish act, using the wrong weapon at the wrong time for the wrong purpose with the wrong motive. Peter was trying to prevent what he saw as defeat. But Jesus immediately heals the restored ear, a gracious act of mercy, sparing Peter from near certain execution. Jesus' kingdom is not to be advanced by the sword. We don't fight spiritual battles with physical weapons. This highlights a tough lesson for Jesus' followers. Christians are called to resist evil and submit to God, but knowing when, how, and where becomes the challenging task. After Jesus' arrest, the disciples all abandoned him and fled. Mark notes that they were not behaving as disciples, refusing them the title. This fulfills Jesus' earlier prophecy, captured across all four Gospels, that they would become deserters. In the moment, their faith was shattered and confidence lost when they saw Jesus meekly surrendering. We can see a bit of ourselves in these people, perhaps. Yet, in the midst of this chaos, Jesus stands out. He's the only calm, collected, unruffled person in the garden. He shows consummate peace. His peace is not ignorance of the difficulty ahead. In fact, he alone understood the need profoundly. Yet, he had peace. This peace is his legacy. It comes from his supreme confidence in God's sovereign mercy and accepting God's plan through prayer. As we look ahead to worship this Sunday, what about you and I? Most personally, the scene reminds us of the sad failure of those closest to Jesus. Our faith encourages charity and forgiveness when we encounter failure. If the disciples stumbled, what confidence do we have that our resolve would be stronger? Our regular time in reading and studying the Word and engaging in prayer builds this strength, this capacity within us. In-person worship and fellowship that encourages adds even more. You've heard perhaps these practices called means of grace, the efforts and actions that bring results as the Holy Spirit works within, outfitting us for our own journey in grace. Like Mark and the disciples, we need the resurrection to give us the courage to stand. There's a simple prayer attributed to old Scottish farmers. O Lord, keep me kept. As our years of Christian living become decades, and ultimately a life in full, are we learning to experience pain and suffering, ambiguity and mystery, trusting in God's plan, even when it looks, feels, seems like defeat and loss? Lord, keep us kept. That's my prayer for you and I. Thank you for watching.